Ronda Rousey's reign is over. The biggest female star in sport suffered a shock defeat against Holly Holm in front of a record-setting audience in Melbourne at UFC 193 on Sunday. Holm landed a head kick and then followed it up with punches as Rousey fell to the mat to knock the champ out a minute into the second round of the women's bantamweight championship fight. Afterwards, Holm's coach, Mike Winkeljohn, said Rousey didn't necessarily err by rushing his charge in their UFC world title fight, but was simply beaten by an intellectually superior fighter in Melbourne. Much of the talk coming out of the UFC 193 fight that shocked the MMA world centered on whether Rousey's single-minded rushing of Holm, a renowned boxer and kickboxer, cost her the fight and ended with her being kicked right into hospital by Holm. Ronda is an emotional fighter and she has overwhelmed people with that pressure sometimes and it's worked for her in the past, Winkeljohn said. It's just Holly is at another level when it comes to intellect. That intellect and boxing news served Holm well against an opponent who was brazen, bordering on arrogant in her attack, as Holm let the fight come to her, keeping Rousey at a controlled distance at Etihad Stadium. Winkeljohn said he wasn't surprised by the result, only how quick it came about, and even said Holm had intentionally held back in some of her fights since arriving in the UFC. Footwork is always the key for Holly Holm in her fights, and Holly has held back a bit in the past and that was all part of the plan, he said. We knew we would fight Ronda one day and Holly showed why she is now the best in the world.